presentation. Don't worry, I won't talk too much law. There will be a few points, and one of them is going to be pure law. I had a problem deciding what subject I really wanted to talk about today, because this whole conference being about technology and about humanism and education is so vast that whenever I found a subject, I changed my mind, found another one that was even better. Until one day, I was actually on vacation. It occurred to me that I understood what the real problem was, what the real challenge was that we're facing today in terms of education, humanity, and technology. But before getting to that, which I call the essential skill, just try and answer the following question. What I have right now is something that's worth billions of dollars. Something that corporations are fighting for every second round the clock. What is that? What do I have right now that is worth billions of dollars? Your attention. I have your attention. So what I'm going to ask you, please, is to focus and concentrate that attention. I know it's going to be hard. Put away your phones. Get back in the driver's seat. Be in control. Let's us decide where our attention goes. Now, the reason I mention that is that that's so key for education. Now, before I get to what happened when I was on vacation and I understood what the real problem is, let me tell you another story inside the story. You know, building it up, right? Lawrence, I'm glad you're here. Stand up, everybody can see Lawrence. Our friend from Germany. Hello, Lawrence. As you can tell, Lawrence didn't know I was going to pull this trigger. And Lawrence and I, we didn't know each other, but we met in Delhi. And we flew together from Delhi to this place. And Lawrence was my victim for 2 hours, right? You sat next to me and you pretended to enjoy it. So that was lovely. That was lovely. At a certain point in time, Lawrence dozes off, which gives me the opportunity to look at this lovely sea bottle in front of me, and I found this newspaper. And there was this incredible story by a Japanese man called Okihoto Kondo. Do you know who that is? Okihoto Kondo. You know what he did? He got married. Now, what's so strange about that? Why was that in the newspapers? He got married to a hologram. What? He got married to a hologram. This guy invited 40 people to his wedding. It cost him $17,500 or the equivalent of yen, and he got married to a hologram. 35 years old. And he loves it. Or her, or whatever. You know, what is this universe we're creating? So I started understanding what the real problem is. When I was on vacation, it was in the south of France, in Cannes, lovely place. And so I went to the beach every day, about 10 days or something like that. And there was this girl on the beach, 2.5 years old. She wasn't playing in the sand. She wasn't swimming. She was sitting there on the beach, playing with her phone. Her phone, not her mother's phone, her phone. 2.5 years old. I suddenly understood what the problem was. Fine. Okay. Are we on? Here she is. Isn't she lovely? Her name is Maya. Now you see, this was not a sunny day, so she wasn't on the beach that day. She was cycling. But she's got her phone in her hand. 2.5 years old. What is the universe of Maya going to be when she's 10, when she's 15, when she's 18? Will people marrying holograms? I mean, what is the world that we're creating for Maya? What are her values going to be? How will she get her knowledge? How will she get her information? Will she get it from school, or will she get it from this thing that's with her all the time? Or whatever it will be in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years. Well, I'm afraid seriously afraid that everything she will know will be what this thing tells her. Her attention. Well, you know, I'll get to the book. Her attention will be captured by this. And in reality, she won't know very much, because whenever she wants to, you know, whenever she's thinking of something, check something, and so on and so forth, she'll just look it up. She won't have to remember anything, right? She just looks it up.
Huh? Google Pay.
And speaking about books, why should she learn to read? She can just talk to this, right? Is it really necessary that she learns to read and write? You think it is, but I challenge you, maybe it's not. Sorry, we'll get to Q&A. I really don't think that it will be a necessary skill for her in this environment to learn to read and write. And certainly doing math or counting won't be necessary. She just ask this machine to do it for her. And all the information that she'll get immediately. She doesn't need to remember anything. That, dear friends, that's the challenge. That is the problem. 2.5 years ago, I helped a senator in France draft the first law in Europe on fake news. I'm so glad it didn't pass. but it was a really interesting exercise. Now, the first recital of that law was that we need, as you say in French, to make it a grand cause national, which is a big national cause of education. And that was probably the only part of the law that I would have liked to see passed. How many teachers do we have in the room? Educators? I thought so. I thought so. Okay. You're really a leader. You're the soul. I mean, you are really the soul that's protecting our humanity. You really are. And our civilization. Your job will not so much be to teach reading and writing and math and arithmetic, but teaching our children, and I'm going to use another French word, which is esprit critique. You need to make sure that our children question everything. And don't have their lives and their universe dictated by this thing. Your job is to teach our children to be independent, to be autonomous, to think and to question everything. Now, as a lawyer, it's interesting that one of the things that we learn, important also when you have discussions and so on, is there is an art that seems to be completely forgotten in education. Completely forgotten. And to me, it's the most important. And it should take place at first grade level. That's the art of debating. Right? The art of debating. Forcing mind to argue the opposite of what this machine tells her. Just for the sake of the argument. Forcing everybody in the classroom to see the other side and to argue against themselves. If we teach our children to do that, it's going to be more important than reading, writing, and math, because again, they're not going to use these skills. We need to teach them that the true meaning of relativity. We need to teach them that whatever the truth is, I'm not going to, this could be a 3-day thing, it's most probably not what they get from this machine. There's a really interesting story about Wikipedia. Right? That's where we all get our knowledge from, quote unquote, today. And look at our methods. It's on Wikipedia. It's called Wikipedia hosts, right? So these are unmasked stories on Wikipedia, scams, posts. Some of them go unchallenged for years. The latest statistic I read on this is that one-third of all Wikipedia disputes are left unsolved. The idea of this universalist Wikipedia doesn't work. Yet it is the source of wisdom. Source of wisdom for much of us in this room, and certainly it's going to be for mine. We need you, teachers. You need to make sure our children, hopefully will question everything, will be irritated. That's what you need our children to be. They must be irritated and question everything, especially since otherwise they cannot be. So my first point was really the importance of debate and the importance of not getting information from this kind of thing, but making sure to stop disinformation. I promised to make one legal point. I'm going to say that when you talk about the cost-benefit analysis, I agree, you mentioned that yesterday. Everything sooner or later translated into ethics and laws and points I just made now are also legal, but not in this particular words. But I've got one legal question here: is the corporations that will determine the view of the universe, the cosmology, the epistemology, right, of mind. What are their obligations? Now I use the word epistemology, right? The science of knowledge. Today, knowledge is reduced to correlation. Right? Big data is correlation. If this happens, then there is a probability that that will happen, right? And we think that we know more because of that. Of course we don't. The world is much more than probability and statistics. The world is really, if you want to understand it, if you want to get back to cosmology, it's not correlation, it's causality. Right? Remember that? The word causality doesn't exist in normal science. Everything is probability. And the problem is that probability often works, but it doesn't give us an understanding of how the world works. We need to get back to understanding the basics, the basic importance of causality, cosmology, epistemology, and not just get information that with certain probability may be true or not. So what is the responsibility of the corporation that will, I use the word here, consciously, manipulate Maya when she grows up. Again, this is Maya today. Who knows what her universe is going to be like when she's 10, 15, 18, and so on and so forth. I don't know whether I'd be particularly fond of being part of that thing. I probably haven't. You can ask yourself, from a legal point of view again, what is the responsibility of the Wikipedias today and their equivalent in a couple of years? And the companies that produce the games that we heard about? Fascinating things, by the way. And all the other companies that do e-learning and either license it to schools or give it for free. By the way, as we all know, nothing is free, right? What is their responsibility? Now, I mentioned yesterday there with Artie that I did not download the map for this conference. Actually, I should have, because it would have been much easier to know what was going on and when I was going to speak and stuff like that. But I didn't. And I didn't do it because I simply stopped downloading maps. I personally did it because I had this case a couple of years ago. You all have flashlights on your phone, right? Right? Some of most phones are, equipped with the default flashlight, but you can also download flashlights from either Google Store, App Store, or whatever. And I had this client who had downloaded this flashlight and found out later that it included spyware. Right? As I said before, nothing is free. And the case was pretty complicated because the flashlight in app was developed in Ukraine. It was then put on one of the big platforms that I mentioned before by a company based in Seattle. And it was distributed in France through Vodafone and SFR. Pretty complicated case. Who was really responsible for the malware that was introduced on everybody's phone here in the case I just described? Very complicated. Now, needless to say, this is the kind of case that is settled out of court. So if you're sitting there waiting to get the answer, we can discuss what it should have been, what it shouldn't have been, and so on and so forth. But this particular case was settled out of court. The point is that if you
produce something in the physical universe, right? A car. That's the typical example, thanks to the consumer movement, especially Ralph Nader and his likes in the 60s in the US. We had this new notion of product liability, right? Everybody believes, everybody feels, and rightly so, that if you introduce a product, you're responsible for what this product, for the harm that this product does. Even if you don't have a contract with the consumer, because you introduced that product to the market, that's called product liability. And you know what? That does not exist in the digital realm. You probably didn't think about that. And I always thought about it because of this case. It was a shocking realization, especially knowing that about 15% of all products are now sold over the internet. I'm talking about the intermediaries here like Amazon and the rest of them, and that these numbers are growing every second of the day.